What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Market Wrap. And there is lots that happened today, and I think there are a lot of reasons why the market could be very interesting to watch tomorrow. And I think we could see heightened volatility. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing and hit a thumbs up or a like if you feel the content is helping you. So let's quickly start off with the market, and what we saw is Nifty and Bank Nifty doing pretty well. So if we try to look at what exactly did the market do, is the market was starting to open slightly gap up, and then the market just started to continue building its momentum, and that was largely with the back of a lot of index heavyweights doing well. Now today Reliance was not very strong, and but there were a bunch of other stocks which were contributing, and especially IT. I think a lot of the contribution came from TCS and Infi. Now you can see on your screen TCS 2%, Infi 2.5%, HCL Tech also about 1.5%, and HDFC Bank. So banking was kind of slightly weak. Now I think if you attended yesterday's market wrap, Axis Bank was down 4%, and I think you must be aware that I told you about this a block deal about to take place by Bain Capital, and Axis opened, I think, 1% lower. Now, if you look at other stocks also, so there was a bunch of data that came in. Apart from earnings, we got tractor sales data, which impact stocks like Mahindra and Mahindra, VST tractors and trailers, and a lot of other stocks which have or which provide equipments which are used in tractors. So we will talk about that, and there were a bunch of stocks in the agriculture or fertilizer sector which are reporting earnings today. So that includes Chambal Fertilizer, UPL had an outstanding performance. So we will cover all of that. So we will start an analysis with what happened with Nifty. We'll move over to Bank Nifty, and then we'll move over to the world markets and see them on the charts. So let's quickly get started and start off with what Nifty did. So I think I've given you a summary of what Nifty did. Now, amongst Nifty, and if I tell you like which stocks amongst the Nifty 50 did exceedingly well, so I'll just filter out the most strongest stocks, and what you can see over here is that we have seen Adani Enterprises, TCS, Infi, Adani Ent was up 6%. Now, Adanis are always an outlier in a very normal market. And we've seen HCL Tech, Sun Pharma, Power Grid. So NTPC, Power Grid, both of them, NTPC, even after subdued numbers yesterday, I think based on their expansion and, the capacity expansion that the management is very confident about, and the electricity consumption, which has been slowly increasing, Discoms, the power distribution companies are also having like a good growth. I think yesterday Tata Power also said that they feel the environment for power companies is very healthy right now, and the steps that the government is taking. So all in all, a good performance. Now we spoke about pharma companies again. Pharma today, Divi's Lab and Dr. Reddy came in, amongst the stronger stocks. We also spoke about cement. That day before we had cement month-on-month sales numbers coming in, and we had like a good growth. So we saw Ultratech, we saw Grasim again, continuing their run. So we see three pharma stocks here, actually one, two, and three. Yeah, so we see three pharma stocks over here, with three of them from IT and about two of them from the cement pack. And the Bajaj Auto, based on good numbers, they also reported earnings. So we had a mixed bag. So we did not have like one sector doing exceedingly well, but yeah, pockets. Now tomorrow, I think IT will still do even better, and the reason for that is Tech Mahindra's earnings are out, and I will go over them. But outstanding numbers, and Persistent also did well. Infosys also did well today. So a bunch of IT companies actually did well today. So we will look at them in a bit. But before starting off, we will look at stocks which did not do well. So there were not a lot of stocks which dumped today, especially in the Nifty 50. But we saw Reliance coming off 2.5% from the highs, and Eicher Motors, after disappointing Royal Enfield sales numbers, stock was down 1.5%. UPL, ahead of earnings, the stock was down, but I think tomorrow it'll have good action, and UPL has been like a outperformer in the past. So I think we can expect some good action here as well. Axis Bank, I've already told you what the reason behind Axis's fall was. Now, before we continue further, we will quickly have a look at some important news flow, which is very, very important for you to know. Some are related to earnings, and some of them are related to, some announcements by the government. So let's quickly start moving over there. So just give me a moment. I will shift my screen. All right, just a second. Okay, there's some issue in me shifting the screen, but I will just talk it out to you right now. So first things first, Moil was down today, and that was because the prices of ferromanganese or ores with manganese content of about 44% were cut by 7.5%. That tells you that the demand was kind of soft, and that had an impact on other ferro alloy stocks as well. Apart from that, all other grades of ferrochrome also took a hit about 5 to 6%, and that was kind of showing you that the demand is getting softer. Yesterday, I told you Tata Steel had bad numbers, so again, this is from the metals pack showing mixed set of numbers. So not exactly the best thing that you would like to see if you are an investor over here. Now, Moil is obviously not a stock that you trade on a day-to-day basis, but it's fine. Now, jet fuel prices are hiked, so that should mean that there's going to be an increase in prices for aviation companies. So again, not beneficial or bad for aviation companies, but yes, it'll lead to slightly higher prices, and it's okay. I don't think there's anything for us to worry about. The next thing is LPG prices were cut, so gas prices were cut, and we saw gas companies today kind of flattish. But this will not have that much of an impact. But I think natural gas prices, if this continue to be lower, I think it's going to have a good impact on these fertilizer companies because for companies like Chambal, companies like Zuari Agro, uh, companies like Coromandel International, all of these fertilizer companies, and even the Deepak Fertilizers, all of them have got a lot of subsidies. They've got lots of benefits. The prices of their raw material is going down, but the prices of fertilizers are still fine because the prices of vegetables, fruits in the market are still up. So I think this could be like an upturn in cycle for them, and this would be good. So natural gas prices are definitely something to track for these companies. Now, Bharti Airtel, we already discussed good earnings, did not see a lot of action today. So, Bharti Airtel did not see a lot of action today on the upside, but the earnings were very good. There have been lots of upgrades from brokerage companies. L&T also was decent. Now, there was another news related to palm oil. So the government has increased palm oil tariffs by about 6 to 11%, and that's the reason why Colgate, Hindustan Unilever, a lot of these companies were doing bad. Now, this is very good for Adani Wilmar. So whenever palm oil import prices go up, Adani Wilmar becomes a very attractive source for people to source at least palm oil raw materials. So again, Adani Wilmar Limited to watch out for. I think this news has been factored in. It came in around 9 or 10 in the morning. We'll quickly see what Adani Wilmar did. I did not track that stock today, but I think should have done well. Apart from that, so we have also seen a few things. So now, Glenmark, they launched some generic capsules, and the market size of that particular product, or the total market size, is $2 billion. So now there is another pharma company. So what I see is pharma is getting into a shift in momentum in their sales. That's one. Number two, we have seen money flowing into pharma, and we have seen a lot of pharma stocks outperforming the others. So I think that is extremely good. So keep a watch on that. We have discussed about airlines. We've discussed about this. Okay, so now we need to talk about LT Foods. Now, LT Foods, 3 days back, when I did the market wrap, I told you LT Foods, a lot of private equity investors are eyeing to take a stake, and promoters are getting good rich valuations, and the company is showing growth. So the margins were slightly lower, but revenue is up 30%. So the stock is growing, and technically also the structure looks good. So I think this is a stock that you should keep on your watch list once the market corrects a little. I think LT Foods is something you should definitely be adding. Now, Escorts, I already spoke about. Tractor sales numbers had decent growth, 5 or 6% growth, but not at par with M&M, and not in par with VST trailers and tractors. So growth was slightly subdued, but still good. I mean, these numbers are good, and Escorts has been moving very well as compared to other auto stocks. So even that was good. Tech Mahindra, we've discussed about them. Now, BEL, Bharat Electronics, I told you the management commentary, they updated their commentary, and they said that the higher end of the commentary, they can achieve 13 to 14% of that. Their order book was slightly lower, but I think BEL, even today, it was up 2.5%, and technically also it's set up beautifully for an intraday trade. So even that did well. Sun Pharma came out with earnings, so the stock was kind of choppy intraday, but then as soon as the earnings came out, I think the stock just spiked. Another pharma stock, Alembic Pharma, they got a final US FDA nod for glycopyrrolate caprolate injection. I don't know how to spell this, but it's basically used for treatment of ulcers, right? The chala that you have. So Alembic Pharma also good. This USFD approval, the final note is very good for the stock. I will definitely watch out for this tomorrow. And now one thing you should keep analyzing, like a lot of pharma stocks are coming in, in terms of good earnings, in terms of good upgrades, in terms of good technical structures, in terms of outperforming the market. So pharma is definitely something that should be on your radar, right? UPL, I already told you that numbers were good. Another company, Solara Active Pharma, they got European regulator not to manufacture ibuprofen at the Vizag facility that they have. Stock up 3% after that news was coming in. So lots of them even getting US FDA not, which is good for the industry overall, because we saw 6 months back, Lupin, Cipla, all of these big names in the pharma industry were struggling. They were getting a lot of US FDA observations. They were facing a lot of troubles, but I think they have just stepped up their game, and that is reflected in the stock prices as well. Now, one pharma stock which has been a bummer for investors has been Biocon. And this stock has not moved. But if you look at Loris, Loris is at good levels. Syngene did well. Yesterday also was up 3%. Today it was slightly flattish, but I think all of these stocks, you should be keeping an eye on that. Now, apart from that, Data Pattern India. Now, Data Pattern India had okay earnings. So revenues, margins, everything was good. Now, this is an important thing for you to know. They're doubling their manufacturing capacity in Q3 FY23, and their revenue potential now moves up to 1,000 crores, and their cash conversion cycle. Now, basically, whenever these IT companies or these companies which give things on contractual basis, their cash conversion cycle is something that is a very important metric. So now they are trying to target around 300 days. It was earlier up to 380, 390 days. They're getting it down to 300 days, which increases their cash flow. And a company which has a higher cash flow, obviously investors value them more, and that's the reason we could see some action in this. Although after earnings, there was not a lot of action in Data Patterns India. Now, next up is we have Goa Carbon. So Goa Carbon, there was one Goa unit which was shut down. It started operating again. Goa Carbon, Philips Carbon Black, and all of these companies which manufacture these carbon-related materials which are used in a lot of industrial applications, they've been doing well, and it is potentially a stock which could be, for swing traders, it could be one of the stock. Please check the structure. I have not tracked that, but we have seen a good action, and this is a good enough catalyst for at least an intraday move, or maybe another 1 or 2 day momentum move. So all of that is fine. Now, I'm talking about a lot of stocks which are being bullish, but when I will move on to Nifty and Bank Nifty charts, I will tell you that Nifty and Bank Nifty are not at a position to create fresh positions. So only intraday plays, and do not carry anything overnight, because both of them are at strong areas of supply. And today what we've seen in America is bearish action through, as soon as the market opens. So I'll come to that. Now there's also talk. So now all you need to understand is China is a very, very big part of this entire puzzle. Now China is still struggling with COVID. China is still struggling with these quarantines. And if you have followed social media, you've seen people are literally put in boxes like a mummy, and they have been transported here and there to quarantine stations. So there is a talk about creating a potential China reopening, committee, which is basically, trying to plan out on how China can reopen and then contribute to demand, because China's, softening of China's demand has impacted a lot of these metal prices. Any good news about China reopening, or anything about COVID cases in, over there reducing a little bit, I think you will see a lot of action in these China specific stocks, like all the steel players, including SAIL. So I think watch out on that. Now Nika, yesterday, day before, I just saw the insider data, and I'll just show that insider data to you. I think there was so much action, in these stocks. So let me show it to you. So let's go. Okay, so I'll just show it in you, show that to you in a bit. But the Nika had extremely strong action. So Nika yesterday was up 17%. Today, after earnings were okay. It was not as bad as everyone was expecting, and Nike was still up 3.5%. The most interesting bit was that there were so many insider buys in Nika that were taking place. Even today it happened. Yesterday also it happened. So Nika investors, I think the stock pulls back from here or makes a base. I think this is time to kind of jump onto it. So even that was good. So even Nika was pretty solid. Now Adani Enterprises we've already discussed. Tata Motors. So, okay, Tata Motors passenger vehicle sales had good growth, and that is pretty obvious with their product lineup. But commercial vehicle sales were pretty flat, which is kind of a bummer. Now, Balrampur Chini. So I think we discussed yesterday, and I'll just open up the chart really quickly. Balrampur Chini, I told you yesterday that it's around a very important area of demand, and today we got good action from there. So this is what I told you yesterday, and just look at the action today. So Balrampur Chini up about 4.65% today, and very nice move from this area of demand. So pretty simple trade. If you just watched the market wrap yesterday, I think you could have taken this trade and made some money out of it, right? So good location, good structure. Other sugar stocks were doing well. There was positive news flow about it. I think all the good ingredients of being a good trade. So this did well. Balrampur Chini did well. Now CMS Infosystems, I am not tracking that stock, so I'll not talk about that. Dhanuka Agritech also approved a buyback of about 800 and something. I think 850 rupees. They've approved a buyback. Now this stock, if you are an investor in this, I don't really like the structure technically for this stock, but I think given the buyback premium, I think it's more than a 10% premium the company is offering. So maybe if we start breaking above these supply, I think we could have an action. I don't recommend you all to trade this. I think it's okay. Now, Punjab National Bank earnings came in, and it was a bad quarter for them. 400 crores of quarterly earnings as expected. The expectations from analysts were about 1,000 crores. Bad numbers. I think this could lead to Bank Nifty being bearish. Now, I will also show you the open interest in Bank Nifty. So what I've opened over here is Bank Nifty. Now you can see lots of call writing at 41,500. So if you don't know what call writing is when institutions are writing call options, meaning that they are betting against this call option, making money for people. So that means institutions or big players are betting that the price of this call option should go down, and that's how they make money. So we've seen a lot of call writing, and maximum open interest is around the 41,500 calls. So be aware, if you're a Bank Nifty trader, I think the market's going to be bearish, and given Punjab National Bank's earnings, I think this could have a this could also have an impact on some other stocks. I think maybe Canara Bank, maybe Bank of Baroda. So maybe all of those stocks are also something to watch out for. Now, coming back to, okay, so I'll talk about Nifty very shortly. Sun Pharma we've spoken about, M&M we've spoken about. I'm just ensuring that I've told you everything that I think you should be knowing. Tech Mahindra also I've spoken about. Voltus, very bad earnings, horrible earnings by Voltus. Margins down by about 250 basis points, which is bad. And Profit numbers, I think even they did not have a good quarter over there. Revenues were in line, but nothing over there. Now, Johnson & Johnson to buy medical device maker Abiomed in $16 billion. Now, I don't know about Abiomed, and Johnson & Johnson is not listed here, so doesn't really matter. Now, before I start from there, I will just want to show you what's happening in America. Right. So this is the heat map of the S&P 500 index, and what you can see is a lot of stocks are down, and what you've seen is Amazon down 4%. We've seen Microsoft down, Apple down 2.5%, and we have seen like a bunch of other strong stocks also take a hit. Now today also there were reports of the Fed raising interest rates by about 100 basis points, which is another 1%, and I don't think that's good for the market. Now, in terms of the stocks which were strong, you had hardly a few names which were extremely strong. So Meta, after falling for like so much, Facebook is just up now. I will drop a video soon about why Facebook is down so much, like what's happening, what's changing. But if you look at otherwise, even here, if you just look at health tech again, here also the pharma theme is playing out really well. Energy minerals are okayish on the upside, but if you focus that tech stocks are not leading the charge now. It's more of industrials, it's more of consumer services which are doing well. So this is something that you should understand. Now starting off with Nifty. So this is the hourly chart of Nifty, and I clearly told you that this is going to be a very strong supply, 18,300s and then 18,600. So 600 is still far off. I don't think we're going to go to 1600s. I think we come here and somewhere around 18,300s we start taking supply. So we are, in the lion's den, I would say, an area of very strong supply. And if we start pushing lower from here, I think you will get a lot of short opportunities. Now, what I would recommend is don't play long on the index. If the index is bullish, try to play stock longs, like individual stock plays. Don't carry or don't play longs on the index. Only play the short side in case if you know how your system works. We try to take an entry today, and there was this good move up for grabs, and then the market again came back and close near supply. Now I will just open the SGX Nifty chart, which is basically India 50 CFD, which can tell us what's happening. And what we can see is that after making this high around 6 p.m., so this is where the market closed in India, and now it's trying to head lower. If I show you what it has done on the hourly chart, so it has basically tapped into this supply right here. So I will just remove these drawings, and it has basically tapped all the way into the supply. It's actually broken that up. I will just go to the daily chart now. Yep, that's better. So basically, this is kind of SGX Nifty. Just understand this to be SGX Nifty, and we are into this supply, and this is the supply which led to like this entire massive move on the downside. So make sure that you are very cautious if you're trading on the long side. Now I'm not trying to scare you out. I'm just trying to make you aware that your location for a long trade is bad, and hence you should only look for shorts. Now similar theme in Bank Nifty. I'll quickly go to Bank Nifty now and show you what's happening in Nifty Bank. Nifty Bank is much bearish. So this is the supply that we had plotted. This is the daily chart, and we're trying to get some supply from here. So I think Bank Nifty is also. I showed you the open interest data also, and even that suggests that we can have a fall. Now you have this gap which is unfilled. Okay, you have this slight gap over here which is unfilled. Today's gap was filled right here, and then you've got like this big of a gap here, and then you've got this big of a gap here. So Bank Nifty has lots of room on the downside, and I think there could be good short plays building up in Bank Nifty. So watch out for that as well. Now, coming back to the stocks which did well, and some other news flow. So what I can see is that apart from the earnings, so a lot of earnings came out, but apart from that, there were some, I think, news pieces. Asahi India also came out with numbers, pretty average numbers, not the best. So watch out for that. That's again not a stock that you should trade intraday. Cupid has received an order from the United Nations Population Fund, very small order of 4 crores, but good. That's also good. Apart from that, Glenmark. So I told you that Glenmark has launched these, capsules over there, which has like a $1.1 billion market. Um, uh, LIC Housing Finance, again, weakness coming into that stock today. Also, some 5 lakh rupees of this thing penalty was applied by the Reserve Bank of India. Abu Dhabi National Oil Company and Gas Authority of India Limited, they've signed an MOU to explore collaboration opportunities in LNG supply, which is liquefied natural gas supply, and decarbonization, including short and long-term LNG sales agreements. Good for GAIL. Let's see how that plays out tomorrow. Ashok Leyland, all of these stocks we've spoken about. Solara also we've spoken about. Okay, I think with from the news standpoint, I think we are done. Now I will just quickly start to move. Just give me a moment. I will just show you the heat map of the market, and let's see how that plays out. Just allow me a moment. Okay, so now if you look at so I've basically briefed you everything about the news flow. So I think we don't need to work on that. I was talking about the heat map. So if you look at you know the top gainers today, so we even had a lot of action from non-Nifty 50 and non-Nifty 500 stocks. So you've seen Torrent Pharma, AstraZeneca, stocks like them near 52-week highs, and we've seen growth stocks around 52-week lows. So it kind of signifies that if this becomes the market top, another 100 200 points, we have seen value stocks now starting to pick up, right? So just look at this underperformance of Bandhan, Intellect, Fine Organics, Gland, and look at how Jubilant Pharma, JSW Energy, ITI, Infibeam have outperformed Nifty 500 stocks. So what we've seen is Delivery, ITI, Renuka Sugars, another sugar stock, I've already spoken about Balrampur Chini, another sugar stocks doing well. If I click on all of these stocks which were gainers, so you even see Adani Wilmar. Okay, so I was talking about Adani Wilmar benefiting, so it's up 6.5%. Now you understand, anything happens to palm oil, Adani Wilmar is a beneficiary. I mean, anything negative happens for companies like Colgate, Palmolive, Dabur, Marico, all of those. Good for Adani Wilmar, up 6% today. Divi's Lab doing good, another cement company. So I think healthcare, pharma, cement, and sugar, they've been doing well. So that's about that. Now, if you look at this heat map, so metals were up today, probably because of this China reopening theme. Because I was expecting like a bearish action on metals, but they still managed to do well. Apart from that, we've seen BSE power, so basically power index doing well, pharma doing well, IT was up. So these were good performers. If you look at the sectors over here, so we can see that pharma again coming in over here. So telecom largely backed by the telecommunication equipment. I think it's ITI which did well. Yeah, ITI 8%. And I think that's one of the bigger heavyweights over here. A bunch of earnings also now is telling about the insider data as well. So if you look at HDFC Bank, all of this is just ignore. FSN e-commerce is Nykaa. So just look at these acquisitions that happened on 1st of November, which is today. And I will just show you what happened even the day before. So you'll get a decent idea of how things, play out. So I'm just going to go to 31st of October and I'm just going to do search, and you're going to see here. Just have a look at this. Okay, not on 31st October then. Maybe I saw it incorrectly. No, okay. 31st October, there were no transactions, but today there was a lot of insider buying. So, yeah, pretty much that's it from my side on the market wrap. And if we see the latest bit of how the stocks are doing, okay, so I missed out on one thing, and I'll just quickly show that to you on what America is doing right now. So let's quickly check out on what is the S&P 500 doing right now. So we'll just quickly see. Okay, so S&P 500 is down about 0.4%, and just look at this, like the way it opened and then just dumped. And similar, I'll just show you the similarities, right? This supply was the most crucial one for S&P 500. If you look at this supply right here, right? Most crucial supply, and the same supply I'm talking about in Nifty. So please be aware, because something like this could definitely take place. So that's it from my side from the market wrap. I hope you like it. Please drop a subscribe. Please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and comment if you like such market wrap videos, and if you want me to do them very often. Thank you so much. Good night, and all the best for your trading day tomorrow. Signing off. Thank you.